Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. Well, I know you're probably already over Celebrity Big Brother, but I did want to give you guys a few days to catch up to see the finale before I talked about it. I think, Cynthia, did I spoil the ending for you? I hope I didn't, but I commented on one of your comments and I had just seen the finale and I don't think you saw it yet, and I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to give anything away. I really wasn't thinking. So that got me thinking that I should just wait a few days before I put out this last video. So the finale night was Sunday, but Saturday, the night before, they had a little sort of a recap stroll down memory lane episode. This is just kind of a filler, and it's an opportunity for us to see like never before seen footage. Also, at the end of this episode, we see the beginning of the HOH competition. So to refresh your memory, the remaining house guests are Omarosa, Mark, Marissa, Ariadna, and Ross. For this HOH competition, Omarosa cannot participate because she's the outgoing head of household. So the other four are on these skis, sort of, and they're holding on to these ropes, and it's an endurance competition, and the skis that they're on that start swinging, they're up in the air and they're swinging all over the place and moving around, and they have to keep their balance and hang on. So now it's Sunday night and it's the 2-hour finale, and we start off right where we left off Saturday with this competition in progress. I know that Ariadna needs to win. Otherwise, she will be nominated along with Omarosa, who I know for a fact is going to be nominated. She can't play this. She has no allies in the house. So in my mind, I know this is where things are going to end for Omarosa, but you know, this is Celebrity Big Brother, so I've been surprised before. Okay, so Marissa is the first one to drop, and Ariadna is really shaky up there, and I know she's not going to hang on long, and she doesn't. She falls next, and then it's just Mark and Ross. Ross is wobbly, but he wants to win. He feels like he needs to win, and he's trying to make a deal with Mark. He's telling Mark, you won't go on the block, I won't backdoor you, although there's no backdoor anymore because there's only 5 people left, so everybody plays the veto anyway. There's no way to backdoor somebody. Anyway, and Mark is just not sure, and he's hanging on, and they're talking about it. Then, this part I did not like. Ross, his mom has cancer, and he now tells Mark, please, come on, please, I want a letter from my mom. Okay, that was not, I didn't like that. What, is Mark gonna look like a jerk on national TV? He's a celebrity, so of course he says, okay, I'll fall. And he does, and Ross becomes head of household. And this is a good one to win too, because even though you're head of household, you still get to play in the next head of household competition because it's the very last one. So Ross puts up, surprise, surprise, Omarosa and Ariadna. Everyone's trying to assure Ariadna that she's not going to go home, but you know, we still had the power of veto, and Omarosa could have won that, and then I think Ari would have gone home for sure. So the POV competition is based on another competition that they always have on Big Brother, and this one they're in harnesses, and up on this big wall there are all these different events that happened in the house, and little cards that signify the date that it happened. So you have to climb up this wall, grab the date, put things in the correct timeline, get back down and hit the buzzer. Ross and Marissa are super fans of the show, and they've been thinking of dates the whole time because they knew this one was coming, or they thought it might be. And so they knew them all, but they didn't know how fast their time was. So you had to get the most correct, and then if there was a tie, you'd had to do it in the fastest amount of time. Omarosa, who clearly could not remember any of these dates, I hate to say it, but she sort of conveniently had an asthma attack. And then her goal was, I just want to put these anywhere and then get back down off this wall because I'm having a hard time breathing. Of course you are, because when the answers are revealed, we find out that Omarosa only got one right. So the final score was that Ross and Marissa both tied. They got them all correctly, and Ross ended up doing it in a faster time, so Ross wins the POV. Since he's head of household, it's pretty unlikely that he's going to change anything, and he doesn't. He doesn't use the power of veto on either Ariadna or Omarosa. And not surprising at all, this is the end of the road for Omarosa. Now, here's what was surprising. There was all kinds of like hugs and kisses on the way out. When did they become so friendly with Omarosa? I don't know, man. Like, she and Ari were saying they love each other, and it was... That may have been the biggest surprise of the night for me. But she goes out, talks to Julie. Then we have the next HOH competition. Final four. Everybody gets to play. This is another memory kind of thing. Remembering things that happened in the house. So all of the previous house guests were pretending to be in a Twitter war with each other and making these different statements, and you had to know which statement was false. That ended in a three-way tie between Marissa, Mark, and Ross. And then they had to go to a tiebreaker where how many seconds did something happen without going over. But if they all go over, then it's whoever was closest. Well, they all went over, and Marissa was the closest guess. So Marissa, she didn't do much all season long, but she sure won when it counted, because this was the most powerful head of household ever. No POV. She just gets to send two people home and go to the final two with whoever she chooses. Also, Marissa needed to win this one because Ross already admitted to the confession cam that he was not going to take Marissa to the final two. He really did not think he could beat her. Also, I think Mark would have taken Ross, although I don't think that's smart, but I think they kind of had a final two deal. So really, Marissa needed to win this one. We get to the part where she has to vote out the two and tell us who she's going to the final two with. Apparently, they already talked about it and everybody knew who her pick was going to be. So she sends Ari and Mark home. She chooses to go to the final two with Ross. She's sticking to her promise to him, I guess. I think it's stupid. I think she just lost the game by taking Ross to the end. But silly me, this is Celebrity Big Brother, and good gameplay doesn't really matter. So all the jury members come back, and Julie's talking to everybody out in the studio. Then Ariadna and Mark come out as the final two jurors, and everybody now knows who the final two are in the house. Then we have the part where the jury gets to ask a question to either Ross or Marissa. Why should you win? Why, that kind of thing. And then Marissa and Ross get to each give their final speech on why they should win. Marissa's speech was so bad. It was terrible. It was basically telling people why Ross should win. She said that Ross would come to her with ideas, and then she'd go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then they would implement them, and that she basically just went along with the votes that the house wanted. At one point she said that Ross carried her to the end, and that she wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Ross, and that's why she took Ross to the end with her. What are you doing? Do they not understand? I think Marissa thinks that her best quality was that she always tried to be nice to everybody. Okay. And really, Ross's speech wasn't much better. He was trying to be the good guy still. And he was trying to say that he stayed true to his alliances, and when it was time to kind of switch it up, then he was true to that alliance and that kind of thing. But, just own your game. You probably had the best game in the house. Why don't you own that? This is Big Brother. This is how it's played. You have to betray people or you're never going to get through to the end. I don't get it. But you know what? It didn't even matter because these jury members were not voting the way I thought they would vote. In the case of Shannon, who has been home for several days and clearly still has hurt feelings, at this point, is voting for the person who didn't betray her as much as the other one. It was crazy. In some ways, this was the worst episode. I know, I get that it doesn't feel good to be betrayed and to be voted out, but in any regular season of Big Brother, these jury members, as hurt as they are or as sorry as they got out of the house, usually come around to thinking, okay, but that was really smart to get me out. Like, Shannon, you were killing the competitions. Can't you appreciate that they understood that if you were in the house, they couldn't win? Right? I mean, so anyway, now it's time for each of the jury members to vote for the person they want to win and put their key in the box. And oh my God, Julie Chen has to explain this process to Meta like he's a toddler. All right, Meta, now you do understand that this time you're voting for the person you want to win. And he's like, okay. And after all that, Meta said, I didn't know who to vote for, so I just put any key in. Okay. Anyway, in the end, as you may have guessed, Marissa wins Celebrity Big Brother by a vote of 7-3. So, yay, Marissa. Listen, I don't hate Marissa. I kind of like her, but she didn't deserve to win this. She wasn't the best player. The best thing she did was win the competition she needed to win at the end, and that was it. Because otherwise she wouldn't have been in the final two. And let me just say this, the best part of Marissa winning, sweet little Zev. Her son, he's so cute. I don't know if you guys remember the very first episode when they found out that they were going to be in the Big Brother house. Marissa and her husband told her son, and he started crying and he wanted to stay home from school, and oh my gosh, it's one of his favorite shows. So for Zev, I think it was really cool that his mom won the whole thing, but she didn't deserve it. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my recaps. It was fun to do. If you'd like to see more recaps like this, please subscribe to Jill Informed. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and don't forget to leave your comments down below. Are you happy that Marissa won, or do you think it should have been somebody else? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.